everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Prism for Enterprises School of Small Business. This is where we assist aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners, existing business owners with strategies, answers to their questions, resources, tips, and um, other techniques to help them along their small business journey. I am Salome Chung, the CEO of Prism for Enterprises. I would like to welcome you and invite you to share this with your friends, your family, anyone you know of who is business minded, wanting to go in that direction that could benefit from the information we share here. Also find us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel so that you never miss an episode, because you won't find the information we share here, I dare say, in a lot of places. So today our conversation is going to focus on online businesses. The popular opinion out there is that this is a way to make money quick, fast, and easy. Today, my guest is Dawn Marcotte. Dawn, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Dawn is a content strategist.
Yes, you are.
Okay, she's the expert on all things social media. She is also a prolific author. Dawn, welcome to the podcast. Please tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Go ahead.
Great. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay, we seem to have a lag on, so I'm gonna pause a little bit to give you a chance to come in. So as I was saying, share with us a little bit about yourself. I know you've your book that I've come to know about and had some time to read is fantastic. And everyone who's in business or thinking of starting an online business, it's a must read. Dawn's book is titled The 7 Lies Entrepreneurs Are Told About Online Businesses. She calls them myths. So we're going to talk about those myths today. And I'm going to pick 3 of the 7. They're all important. That's why you should buy her book and check out the 7 myths. But I'm going to start with myth number 1. Everybody thinks it's easy. Dawn, take it away.
That is so true. Because when I wrote the book, I actually went out and interviewed about 30 entrepreneurs. So it's not just my opinion. It's from people who are living the dream. They're doing it every day. They're in the trenches. And the number one thing they said that they heard or they had been told was that it's easy to start an online business. And I've been around for a long time online, and I remember when the internet was new and shiny and nobody knew what they were doing. And at that time, the saying was, it's easier to build an online business than a brick and mortar, because there had never been online businesses. It was this brand new thing, right? And it's easier and it's faster. And that's true, because if you're going to open up a brick and mortar store, then it's probably going to be 3 to 5 years before you are consistently profitable month over month and you've really got a good handle on what's going on. Whereas in an online business, you can do the same thing in about a year. But if you pay attention to the marketing and the different things online, people are going to be telling you, making it sound like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days in to whatever your idea is for your business, you're going to be making tons of money. And that's just not the way it actually works, sadly.
Sadly, because we all want it quick, fast, and easy. It's the internet age we're in, where everything's looks shiny. And if someone says, I can do it for you in X amount of time, it means I'm going to be rich overnight. You know, in my book, one of the chapters I deal with is the business imposters on the internet. You know, those people who want to give you advice and they've been in business like 2 weeks. So, you know, those are the people that, and I'm not saying that you don't have qualified people out there giving of themselves, their advice, serving people. Absolutely, there are those. But as a new online business entrepreneur, you have to be careful about who you're aligning yourself with.
For sure.
So, and the next myth I
Yes,
chose,
very, very true. That's one of the things I talk about.
yes, yes. The next myth I chose, Dawn, was your offering will work for everybody. And I can testify that is absolutely not
Yep.
the case.
That, oh, for sure. I can too. I can't tell you how much money I have spent over the years on this process or that program or this software that's just going to fix things and make things so much better. And like you, I mean, I won't say that they aren't accurate. There are some really great people out there and some really great processes, but just because you need to understand your skills and your needs and them as well. Like there's a woman that I follow on Facebook who's an entrepreneur and she's fantastic and she has so much energy and I just love her and she shares great information, but I will never hire her as a coach. I will never try her program because she is an extreme extrovert and she's good at it and she loves it. But the things that she says to do, I, as an introvert, go, oh my gosh, I can't possibly do that. No, it will feel spammy and uncomfortable. And I just know it's not going to work for me. Now, if I hadn't taken the time to really dig into who she is and to understand who I am, I might have bought that program. And then I'd be angry because it doesn't work or disappointed. What's wrong with me? Why can't I make this work? It worked for her. So it's not always that that program isn't good. It may just not be the right thing for you. And a lot of new entrepreneurs really don't think that way. I don't think they think that hard about who you are and what your skills are, as opposed to, hey, get me that great software that's going to cut 10 hours out of my week and do this process for me, when I don't even know if I need that process, let alone,
Right. You know, I
you
have
know, if I
been,
should be paying for it or not.
yes, I have been in so many, you know, as entrepreneurs, because we're so eager to learn, we run the risk of latching
Mm-hmm.
on to the next big thing. This will work for you, or that will work for you. And
Right.
my experience, you know, I've, you know,
Mm-hmm.
how sometimes there's this person, as you say, they're the next big thing, and everyone's following them, and they're building a reputation, and their following is
Mm-hmm.
huge, and you're listening to them and you're wondering, why am I not connecting to this person? How do I not see what value they would bring to my
Right.
business? And I've had that experience multiple times, and I'm thinking, could it be, is it me? But once, when I looked at that myth in your book,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking you have to have a synergy. If you don't have a synergy with that coach, with that program, with that influencer, whoever they are, if you don't have that synergy where what they're
Mm-hmm.
offering is
Mm-hmm.
energetic to what you want to do, and how is it going to add value to helping you grow your business,
Yeah.
then it doesn't work. And it doesn't matter that they have a million followers. It just means that they are not the right coach for you.
Exactly. Or not at the right time. That's the other thing too, is, you know,
True.
I hired one coach very early on in my business. She helped me set up a sales funnel using a Facebook group. And that was great. And that's what I needed then. But she's not someone I would go back to now because I've done that. So the coach that I have now is someone that helps me with my books. She's actually a book coach. So she's like a beta reader kind of thing. And she makes everything I do so much better. But I wasn't ready for her when I first started my business. Now I am. So it's important to understand too that you are more than likely going to hire more than one coach throughout the course of your empire building
Yes.
online.
And that is absolutely true. I know of, there's this business, like mega business person that makes billions of dollars. And he says, how you start out in business is never where you end up. When you, at the start,
Nope.
before, it's never where you end up. You go through so many different iterations and changes and directions that it's really important that you be careful
Mm-hmm.
about who's coaching you, what you're absorbing, because it can get really confusing when you're trying to establish your brand identity and what your product is about or your service is about, but it's not aligning with your messaging. That can get really, really challenging. So that's, not as
It
you
can.
one size does not fit all.
No. Which is, part of the attraction of the internet and building a business there too, because you don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to have a background in this or that much money or whatever. The internet is so big that it doesn't matter who you are or what your background is or where you are in your point in life, in your cycle of life. If you take the time and you have the passion and the patience to keep learning and keep at it, you can build a business. But again, like we said at the beginning, it's not easy. It's not going to be overnight. It takes that patience and that persistence. And I see a lot of people, especially in 2020, when a lot of people lost their jobs. And so they jumped online thinking they could come up with something really fast, just giving up when it didn't happen. And that's part of why I wrote the book, because I just wanted to yell into the internet, no, come back,
No,
come back. You could figure this out. We can do this.
no. Which
But yeah, so that's one of the things I like about the internet.
which is the perfect segue into your myth number 6. You can figure it out.
Right? Because there's so much information out online. It just seems like you should be able to just Google, because Google knows everything, right? And answer your business questions and build a business. But to your point earlier, if you do that, you're going to have different coaches saying sometimes exactly the opposite advice. So who do you listen to? How do you know who to listen to? And how do you even know what questions to ask, especially if you're someone who's never been an entrepreneur before? Now, I'm lucky in that my dad and both my brothers have their own brick and mortar businesses. So I grew up around entrepreneurs and people talking about business. So I kind of had a general idea of how it's supposed to work. But even that, I didn't know the specific things that I should ask as I was building my business, because I didn't know, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to be an author? Am I going to be a social media manager? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? There were all kinds of questions, and it was really confusing. And the other kicker, when you go out online trying to find information, what you run into a lot are people who are selling you their service. So they will promise you a seminar that says, I'm going to teach you how to build a Facebook group and get clients. And they spend 10 minutes out of those 3 hours actually teaching.
Actually telling you something, yes.
And it drives me nuts. I hate that. I hate that. If you're going to promise to teach me something, teach me something. But it is a marketing tactic, and it does work. It does work for people. And I'm not saying it's a bad tactic or it's wrong. I'm just saying, as someone who was trying to learn something without paying for it, it was very frustrating.
Yes.
So
Let me tell you, as your book is titled 7 Myths Entrepreneurs Should Know About starting an online business. The title of my book is Push Start, and it covers your myth number 6, which is
Okay.
you can figure it out. No, you can't figure it out. Not a person who is green, just starting a business. Yeah, you can go Google it. But the thing I always ask people about Google is everything you find on Google the truth? Is everything you find on Google the right path for you to take?
Right.
Is everything you find on Google relevant to your business?
Exactly.
And I felt moved to write this book because of my journey, because all that information was available to me,
Mm-hmm.
but how could I channel it into how it served me best? Because Google is not going to tell you that. It's
Exactly.
just spitting forth 10 different options on the same subject. Which one do you choose for you? So
Mhm.
it's a
Right.
challenging.
Well, and I think it is. And I think it's part of the culture, though, of building an online business that somehow mysteriously, because you're doing it online, you're supposed to be able to figure it out. But if you think about it, I mean, if you're somebody brand new out of school and you get hired at your first job, you don't know anything. And people don't expect you to know everything. A really good company is going to give you a mentor or a buddy who can kind of help you learn what you need to know to do your job well. Well, online entrepreneurs need the same thing. We need somebody to help us and guide us through to figure out how to do what we want to do in the best way possible for us.
And I thank the universe for your book because it is amazing and it is well written. I like the structure, and I like the fact
Oh,
that
thank you.
actual entrepreneurs speak to the topic. So in most business books, mine included, you reference, you know, your sources, and you do your research and you bring together the wealth of information. But in your book you actually have people who have the online experience that says, this is what I experienced, don't do that. So, or there's another way to do it.
Right?
Yeah. So
Right,
Dawn.
right. And I did that on purpose because I'm just one person and my life experience is not your life experience and it may not be somebody else's life experience. And I wanted to make sure that if it's a single mom or someone who's in that in-between generation with aging parents or male, female, whatever, I wanted to make sure there was someone in the book that they could look at and go, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. I'm going to give this a try. And I kind of felt like if it was just me, that would be a little too limiting in that way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, as we wrap up, Dawn, I wanted to give you the opportunity to give us, if you were starting or inclined to start an online business today, and I know it's different. Starting an online business is different today than it was 5 years ago.
Hmm.
What would be your best tip for someone wanting to dip their toe in the online business realm?
I think I think the best business advice that I can give is actually something my father told me when I was I probably teenage years, somewhere in there, is that if you want to build a business, the best way to learn about it is to work for someone else in that industry and learn the ropes. Now, the online version of that would be to find someone in the industry that you want to get into and follow them and get to know them, see what they're doing, how do they do it. Find a mentor that can hold your hand and walk you through. And if you don't know of anybody, feel free to reach out to me. I have names I can name of people that I recommend fairly regularly, that some are more well known than others, that have been online for a while and I have found to be very authentic coaches that are willing to give of themselves, give their time and their energy and their knowledge.
Okay, awesome, Dawn. So with that invaluable little nugget, I'm sure listeners are kind of waiting to say, how do I find these people? Dawn, tell the people how they can find you so they can get access to that information and the resources that you can point them to.
Sure. The best way to get a hold of me is actually on LinkedIn. My name, Dawn Marcotte, and I have, not only do I have a profile, I also have a newsletter. So, and I am someone that if you send me a message, if you tell me that you heard me on a podcast or this podcast, I will know right away and I will accept your connection and be more than happy to help you out. So that is the best way to get a hold of me. I'm also on Facebook, but I'm not out there quite as much looking at messages and things like that. So LinkedIn really is the best way to find me.
Okay, so other than your goal of writing one book every year, Dawn, what else do you do in the online business realm? I know you do content creation and things of that nature, but what else are you
Yeah.
involved in?
So I have a LinkedIn newsletter that I do every week specific for introverts. That's kind of my big project right now. I'm also working on launching a couple of classes for very specific things. So for example, I have a book that I wrote a couple years ago, 2020, how to build a Facebook group and get clients, but to take that book and actually teach it. And that way I think more people will get access to it that way, because not everybody likes to read. So I'm trying to take the things that I've done in content previously and put them into a new format so that more people can get access to them, and then more people will learn and be able to grow their business.
All right. Thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for your time. And I am absolutely positive that our audience learned a lot from you today. I want to invite you listeners out there, go listen to this podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's on Apple or Google or Spotify. Go, if you're a YouTube person, follow us there, and subscribe so that you never miss an invaluable episode like the one you just heard today. And I will see you guys next time in the Prism for Enterprises School of Small Business. You will have an awesome week. Thank you and goodbye.